What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And I don't even know why I'm wearing a United shirt right now because I'm pissed. We didn't lose. We dropped points, and we drawed with Tottenham. And if you've been listening to this podcast, there's one thing I love is beating Tottenham so that we can chat shit to Martin, a Tottenham fan. And we were robbed of that because of our second half performance. The main thing we're going to talk about is Man City versus whoever that was that showed up in Arsenal uniforms yesterday. We'll try to figure that out. I think they put some Arsenal jerseys on some cones and with some weak batteries, but we'll see what's up with that. We'll talk about Southampton, and Lee's here, and he ain't happy either. And Newcastle win again, and Isak got an assist on a wonder goal, like some Thierry Henry shit. Yeah, so I saw the highlights of that after the United game. But co-host today is Lee Hudson, stand-up comic from England, Southampton fan. He's waving bravely. Welcome, everybody who's watching on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Thank you for listening on Spotify, Omni Studio, iTunes, and wherever you're listening. And let's hope we shed some light on your team. So the first thing, Man City versus Arsenal. What's your take, fam?
I mean, right from the get-go, City didn't even let Arsenal think it might happen. Like they were just from the get-go, they were like, nah, like we are on you, and we're gonna let you know straight away. I mean, yeah, because the pressure was on Arsenal. They needed to come and do something at City. City went sort of full strength. They didn't leave anything behind. Right. De Bruyne that's the best, because he's a quality player, and he always puts in like a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance almost every week. But he was at like a 9 or a 10 yesterday. Like he really brought it. I mean, and that first goal was a really un-City like goal. That long ball up to Haaland. He's got the hold up play, plays in De Bruyne.
It's like Pep called Sam Allardyce before the game and was like, "What do I do if they press?" He's like, "I got something for you, Pep."
And he just went past, and De Bruyne, like, that was just world class, the way he just strolled through the middle of the pitch. And then like there's very few players in the world who would finish like that from that distance. Like he just placed it in the bottom corner from like 25 yards. Like, just the guy's a different class. And then obviously De Bruyne's second goal was equally as calm, just passing it through the legs of the defender to score. And obviously Haaland gets in on the act too, the Stones header from a great De Bruyne free kick. And then Rob Holding, he can't defend, but he can score. So the poor guy just, I think that shot was just out of frustration, the way he hit that ball, because he was like, I've been getting bullied all night by this Norwegian monster, so I'm just gonna go at the other end of the pitch and hit a ball out of frustration. And it found the corner. But City were well-deserved winners. I mean, I've said, for a lot of time when Arsenal have been top, I've said I want Arsenal to win the league, and I still do. I thought they might be able to ride it out, but this period over the last few weeks when even terrible teams like us have been taking points off them, it's just damaged them too much. And last night was their only real chance of turning that around and getting back on track. And City showed them what's up. So I think that that is a title decider, barring some crazy circumstances that are very unlikely. You can start putting the the sky blue ribbons on the Premier League trophy now.
I mean, you never know. You never know. But yeah, probably not. I'm laughing because while you started talking about it, I remembered Bobby Lee is a big Arsenal fan. So I just texted him, "You're good." And he's like, "Nah, man, not good." And then I was like, "Figured second place ain't bad, fam." He's like, "We blew it." And I said, "It looks like it." So I was going to try to screenshot it and scratch his number out, but I don't know how to do all that and talk at the same time. But yeah, it was good to hit him up. Like, there's some fun string of events about Arsenal dropping points all weekend that played in my favor, like this to Bobby Lee. And when I was at Coachella, that weekend, Arsenal dropped points. So I text AJ Faji on Sunday. I was like, "You good?" He's like, "Ah." And I said, "I'm just at Coachella thinking about you, just to rub it in." And then he's like, "I'm there too." So I said, "Get the fuck out of here." And then we just hung out all Sunday at Coachella. And if I didn't if Arsenal didn't drop points and I didn't check in to fuck with him, we wouldn't have had so much fun Sunday night. and the festival cheered him up. He forgot about it, but now he's probably depressed again. Bobby is, based on these messages, because Arsenal fans were so high, like, on their progress this year. But so this is something I warned Bobby about, and this is a part of my point about the game this weekend. So earlier in the season, Arsenal played Man City. I think it was an FA Cup game or a League Cup game or EFL Cup, and they did not field their best team, and they lost that game. And I said, "Bobby, when you're a up and coming team trying to do your thing, you have to put your best foot forward in those type of games. You can't afford to switch on and then switch off, because you're not in full control of your on switch yet." And this game, losing to Man City, even though it wasn't a Premier League game, could come back to haunt you. Cut to now. The last 3 games, Arsenal have dropped points. So they're clearly feeling the pressure. The last 3 games for Man City, they're killing it. They're in full stride. Arsenal knows that this team not only has eaten up the Premier League, but this team has beaten Bayern, the best team in Germany. And they have to play them without the security of that win that they could have had back then, to help boost their mentality for this game, which they needed some type of a confidence boost based on their performance in the last 3 games. So this is where dropping those points or not caring as much as they should have about that, it was either FA Cup game or EFL Cup game, it could have helped them a lot. Going into this game at the Etihad, knowing that, yeah, we just dropped 6 points in our last 3 games, but at least we beat City before and we could beat them now. But now you're going, we just dropped 3 points we just dropped 6 points in our last 3 games. Last time we beat City, they beat us, and City just beat Bayern. And that's how Arsenal looked on the pitch. Like, they looked like they knew they weren't on the level of Man City, and Man City played like they knew Arsenal wasn't on their level, and they came up with confidence at home. It was men against boys, and they put them away. The new way that they found how to use Haaland is detrimental to all the league, and especially for them to experiment with this in such a big game against the team that's in the league. That's like trying out new jokes during a comedy special taping. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the level City's on. All right, let's try this. All right, fuck it. You ever tried it before? No. You know this is a very important game. Yeah, let's try it. Fuck it. It's on TV. You're not gonna be able to take it back. No, we don't want to. Let's do it. You know what I mean? That type of vibe. So it's like, all right, Haaland, you can get these balls to. So, and they just added the ultimate dimension to being pressed. And one thing that they did to Arsenal, they took away one of Arsenal's biggest strengths all week, but all season. Arsenal is a very good pressing team, and they create a lot of goals from pressing. And City's first goal was from being pressed by Arsenal. A long ball up from Stones to Haaland, who controlled it with a man on his back, with a man on his back, tapped it off to Debruyne, like you said. Like, to beat a team at their strength takes away whatever confidence that team had after that. Like that, it wasn't just a goal, it was the type of goal, because they really leaned into beating Arsenal at their strength. And then to go down 1 at home, and you already came into the game with no confidence, to go down 1 on the road to the team you're afraid of the most, and you already don't have confidence that you need to beat them going into the game, was the killer. And then Man City just continued smooth operating from there. So that's kind of my take in the game. It's like, this loss took months to actually happen, and Arteta could have prevented it or helped his team by winning that FA Cup game or EFL Cup game. It was because a few months ago, it just really came back to haunt them. So that's my view on the match. Well done, Man City, De Bruyne, Haaland, Jack Grealish, who's really showing out, and even Foden came on and did some shit, and just Akanji and Rodri, Gundogan, and just the whole Man City financial Ponzi scheme, illegal like team did a thing. Like, if you're going to cheat, at least put a good team out there when you cheat. And good for you. Good for you. What do you think we should discuss next? Should we do United versus Spurs?
I mean, I'm happy to talk about that, or I'm happy to talk about, the shambles that is my team. So.
All right. We definitely got to talk about Chelsea too.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
sorry,
the fun.
Neil.
Yeah. Sorry, Neil. And we'll see if he joins. But he didn't say anything in the chat when I put what I asked
He's
about.
He's still in India right now, isn't he?
Yeah. But it was me and him on Sunday. So he woke up like 5 a.m. India time and set up a camera in his parents' kitchen, which is hilarious, when he should be asleep. And he came on. A good one.
I saw his stories from like a few hours ago, and he was on the vodka. So he's probably sound asleep right now.
Yeah. It's that time. It's 5 a.m. Yeah. They're 12 and a half hours, I think, ahead of us. So this United game, let me see. We went up 2, and one thing commentators do, it's like, one thing we said about the game that Spurs lost on the weekend to Newcastle, which was a disgusting loss, was me and Neil agreed, why is everybody tripping? It's a one-off. Like, Man United have had this type of game this year, So I kind of did this with you a few podcasts ago, but I said, Spurs ain't supposed to be as good as we think they are, It is a reason why Mourinho failed there, and the ex-Wolves coach failed there, and now Conte bailed out of it. It's because, hey man, they're not that good of a team, but at home, they're still 5th in the league, So you still have to worry about them. So this is one of those games in the second half of the season I was worried about. And we don't have our full defense. I am happy that we did start Shaw as left center midfielder, and Lindelof, even though the score was 2-2, at moments played very Varane-esque and looked like a Rolls Royce. There's some moments when he scared us and got a yellow on Kane, and then the ref let him off with a yellow. after that. And just to say something about referees, let me ask you a question. What do referees do at halftime? Players get yelled at halftime or praised. What do referees do?
As far as I'm aware, they go back into the dressing room with the assistants and they just discuss the half.
Which they should. And I think they should look at footage of like any yellow card you give out in the first half, you should go back and look at those plays on camera to see if you really deserve to give those yellow cards. Because we got 2 yellow cards in the first half that we didn't deserve. One was Wan-Bissaka on Richarlison, and Wan-Bissaka actually got to the ball first, but after Richarlison clattered into him, they gave us a yellow. It shouldn't even have been a yellow, or it shouldn't even be a foul much that's a yellow. And I think refs should do that so that in the second half, you could like, all right, if that player fouled somebody and they should get a second yellow, you'd be like, nah, I shouldn't have given him the yellow in the first half. And so I'm gonna let him slide to make up for that yellow so that that game is now even. And then now if he commits another yellow, I'll give him the yellow and then send him off. That's what I think they should be doing at halftime. I don't know what they do, but I think that's what they do. And then I think it might have happened because then Lindelof didn't get a second yellow, which he probably deserved. Maybe because you could also look at it like the ref, if he saw some mistakes and cards that he gave that he shouldn't have, he could have been like, all right, I'll let another teammate off because that other teammate from the same team shouldn't have gotten that bad call from me. But going back to the game, yeah, it's just disappointing, you know? Like we're up 2-0. I know we're at the Spurs ground and, you know, Spurs have been terrible, but they just win terrible. So they're not as terrible. You know, all their wins feel like a loss. And their losses definitely are losses, but they're fifth. You know, they can put up a fight. And I feel like after we got a 2-goal lead, we had no direction. And that's why 2 goals is a dangerous lead, because especially how you get 2 goals, if you get it like in a dominating fashion, then you're like, yeah, what is there to do in the second half? You know? And you know you don't want to try to get another one because they could catch you on the break. So it kind of leaves you in limbo when you do have the ball. Like, what do we do with it? And it was in these moments of like, what do we do with the ball? We have to kill the game and keep it, but then some of our options are gone as far as like passes, because that's a dangerous pass where you could give away the ball. So let's just keep it passing it around the back. But then you have less impetus to go forward. It limits your options. And then you have a better chance of losing the ball because you have this 2-goal lead. And I think that's what really happened to us. Like we turned it back up after Spurs completed the comeback. Then we went back and dominated because now we knew we had to try to win the game. And it's just like, you know, it's not a perfect team. Our squad is not the perfect squad. Like some of the subs we brought on didn't help us. You know, like Fred, if I check Fred's passing stats, he probably lost the ball more than he had accurate passes. It wasn't good. It was an eyesore out there. And he didn't make any tackles. He fouled Harry Kane once, and he just didn't do even typical Fred shit, like make some tackles. You know, you took Eriksen out to hold the ball more and to break up their midfield, and he didn't do any of that shit. Kudos for Sancho for scoring the first one. Yeah, he needed
Great
that goal. Yeah, great goal. And he needed that. And Rashford's first goal was in the second half, at the end of the second half, was just fucking fantastic. Again, De Gea made some great saves. Like Spurs could have had a goal or two or scored earlier just from missed chances in the first and second half. And, you know, they just really came back strong. They're at home. Their fans started getting on them a little bit, and they just picked it up. But we just have to be better at controlling games we're in the lead of, and we have to get better squad depth so we could just put people on the field that are just as good as the ones they're replacing on the field. Like, we can't have this drop. I don't want to pick out Fred, but the amount of money we pay him, we could pay somebody that same money or less to do way better than him. And the same thing with Weghorst, and hopefully Sancho will keep on getting better. Hopefully we get Garnacho back. That's another option we could have put on the field to create more chaos for them. And but I am happy with Lindelof's performance. He looked really good. And Bruno almost got a goal back immediately right after he hit the post, and then Wan-Bissaka
could have been so different if that chance had gone in.
Yeah, could have been. But we dropped points. But how much does more points does Spurs need to lose for us not to have to worry about them? Because Brighton can't finish in the top four no more.
Yeah, you're 6 points ahead of Spurs, and you've got 2 games on them as well.
Right.
So you're still comfortable. They didn't gain on you. I think that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I say, you've got 2 games on them. You're 6 points ahead. You should be comfortable. Villa are on the same games and points as Spurs. So again, you should be fine with them. Liverpool 1 point behind those guys, but you've only got 1 game on Liverpool, but you're 7 points ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton have got a game on you, but they are 11 points behind you.
Yeah, I think they're mathematically eliminated from finishing in the top 4 or something like that for some reason. I don't know why.
I think they might just be able to, but I mean, yeah, I think you guys are still like well in the driving seat. If you win your game that you've got in hand over Newcastle, you go above them, so back into third. So yeah, I think top 4 is looking pretty secure for you guys as long as you can, win some of your remaining games. You don't even need to win all of them. But yeah, you should.
Oh yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to win them all, fam.
You should be okay. I'm just looking at your fixtures. There's a lot of winnable games there, although your next 2 games in the league are Villa and Brighton. So if you can come through that unscathed, after that you've got like West Ham, Wolves, and Bournemouth. So yeah, if you can get past Villa and Brighton without dropping anything, I think you'll be good.
That's going to be almost impossible. Villa is on such a run right now. Are they coming to us? And that's this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's at Old Trafford. When I say without dropping anything, I mean without losing to either of them. If you can get draws or wins in those games and stop them from gaining on you, I think you'll be fine.
Brighton's going to be pissed because of their loss at Wembley. They're going to be pissed. They're going to be on one. Are we going to them or are they coming to us?
You're going to them.
Shit, they're going to be mad as fuck. They're going to try and give us that Newcastle treatment, like after we beat Newcastle in the finals and then went to them at just a few weeks ago. They're going to be pissed. So that shouldn't be fun. But hopefully we can beat Villa at home, and then I just like that he didn't start Maguire, and I hope we continue to like get Shaw used to playing with Lindelof until Martinez or Varane comes back. Like, there's no need to experiment with Maguire. We know what it is. I know the coach can't say, listen, you can't tell him what he really thinks of him because it would be detrimental. You don't want to lose a player you might need, but you have a great excuse by saying Shaw is left-footed. I like left-sided, like central defenders. So that's, it looks believable. It looks less than a diss than it is. So let's do that. Yeah. Because, I didn't mind that part of our game today. Before we go to Southampton, let's talk Frank Lampard. He's lost 5 in a row. And so he's played 5 games. lost all 5. He's coached 5 games, lost all 5. His team has scored 1 goal. One was a deflection in their favor, and they still lost that game, I think. And the second goal was midweek, an own goal, and they definitely lost that game. So here's some crazy shit. Ryan Mason, Spurs, new interim coach, it's his first game as interim coach for Spurs this year. And already he's won more points than Frank, and his team has scored more goals than Frank.
Oh.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
I mean,
Ryan
it's
Mason in
bad
90 minutes has been a better coach for a worse team than Frank has been in 5 games for Chelsea. And I'm being facetious about that. But Spurs has not spent the money that, that Chelsea obviously has. Who would you prefer for Southampton's interim coach for your last few games? Frank Lampard or Ryan Mason?
I mean, I've got to say Ryan Mason just because I don't like Frank Lampard. And, the proof's in the pudding right there. That it's oh man, like that was just a bad game. Just a bad game for Chelsea. I mean the 5 games he's had, like 2 of them are against Real Madrid. So, like, fair enough. Real Madrid are, they're a hot team in Europe. They're tough to beat. You can understand that, but the 3 league games. We're talking
about the World Club champions here.
The 3 league games have been Wolves, Brighton, Brentford, and Brighton and Brentford are tough teams. Wolves are tricky when they want to be as well. But if you're Chelsea, if you're a club who claims to be of that size, you can't be losing all 3 of those league games. Even with Frank Lampard interim manager, you can't be losing all 3 of those. Like, that's pretty horrific. I mean, I just find it funny because, I mean, I don't rate him as a manager. I think he's managed to fail upwards. He, failed to get a Derby team promoted when he had a huge budget, walked into the Chelsea job, underachieved with them. Tuchel's shown what a good coach could do when he took over that Chelsea team. And then he finds himself in the Everton job despite having, not really done enough to earn it. Terrible. Then finds himself back at Chelsea. I mean, he'll be the next England manager at this rate, because he just walks into stuff that he doesn't deserve. And yeah, I'm finding this so fucking funny, that he's just not able to do a single thing, because there are problems at Chelsea and they're bigger than Lampard. I'll give him that. There are huge problems there, bigger than him. The club's a mess. The strategy is still being figured out, with this new board and all the new hires they've made during the course of this season, because they've not even been at the start of this season. They've been making these hires during the season of the technical directors and sporting directors and all the different things they've got. But what a good coach should be able to do is come in and give a team something in the areas they were lacking, make them more defensively solid, which under Potter, they were pretty defensively solid, but now they've gone backwards. Like, Potter was getting better results than this. Or, identify the fact that they can't score goals. How are you going to get them to score goals? He's just done nothing. Like, you could have put any man off the street in who would have just done this. Like, he's literally made zero impact. Not even like a new manager bounce for one game. He's done nothing. And that's because he's a nothing coach.
Damn, Jesus Christ. How do you really feel about Lampard?
But no, seeing him fail brings a small crumb of joy to my pretty depressing football life at the moment.
I see that. I feel like Chelsea would get a new manager bounce from Lampard after they fire him, and that's the only way they're gonna get it. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, and you could tell he's exasperated and doesn't know what to do. So it's not gonna get better from here. You know what I mean? It's like in the post game, he's exhibiting those CTE answers, and it doesn't look good. And it's like, yeah, if he's taking this into the training ground, it's like, when you just all waiting for the divorce papers to come so you could sign them. That's how, but you're all living in the same house until that happens. That's what's going on here. It's like, it's just eggshells. And the end of the season is when everybody gets the divorce papers to sign. And this will probably be the happiest job Frank ever got fired from. Like, they'd be like, whew, thank God this is over. Loved him as a player, but you got to do your homework, man. You got to do your homework if you want to be a coach. This fast tracking shit. It's not in the Premier League. This is not where you want to play that fast tracking game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rough. It's rough, Chelsea, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Yeah, similar to what we went through last year. So good. Let's get on to Southampton versus Bournemouth. What happened, bro?
I mean, we were bad. Bournemouth weren't much better, but they're the ones who put a ball in the back of the net. We both had 2 shots on target the whole game. We had more of the ball. We struggle in these games against teams who don't want to play into our press. That's one of the problems. That we go and play Arsenal, and Arsenal want to play out from the back. They want to be on the ball. We press them. We scored goals off of the press. Bournemouth come. They don't want to play into the press. They're happy for us to have the ball. So that's been our problem. That was our problem under Hudson as well. It was one of the reasons where he failed, is because he couldn't adapt and have another plan if a team isn't going to let you press them. And that's what we saw today. Just we weren't good enough, and it's such a sort of indicator of our season that we can go to Arsenal and give them a game. We can go toe to toe with the team who are still top of the league. We can go toe to toe with them for 90 minutes, but then we play a team like Bournemouth. It's a local derby. It's at home, and we didn't even look like we wanted to win the game. I mean, Ruben Sellers, he did well when he came in. Obviously, he got the win against Chelsea, but I mean, that doesn't look really worth anything now because everyone's getting a win against Chelsea. And I liked him. He talked positively.
Yeah, but he got it against Potter, not the easy Lampard. Like,
that still don't mean shit. Any Chelsea team you played this season, whether it was
it was a degree of more difficulty back then.
Oh, but I mean, yeah, I liked him when he first came in. Like I say, he was positive, but he's not really been able to change things. He's shown that he's a little bit out of his depth. He's lacking that experience. And I don't know at this point if he is the man to take us into next season, because he's only had one style really in these games. And yeah, I think we might need some more experience if we're going to get out the Championship next season, because that's 100% where we're headed right now. But yeah, I mean, and I've got to give credit to Bournemouth, because I thought they were fucked. Gary O'Neill, inexperienced manager as well, and they've had rocky games. Like, West Ham went and pumped 4 past them the other day. They're a rocky team. Like they will have some pretty devastating losses, but they've put together enough wins that they're almost certainly going to be safe. And credit to them for that. They've done what they needed to do with a squad that isn't amazing. And that's what we've not done. So, credit to Bournemouth. They're probably going to stay up. You look at another club like Forest, who, like, some of their players, they're not that great. They've got a few quality players sprinkled in there, but they've had enough about them that they've got a chance of staying up. They might still go down. It'll be interesting to see who does join us down there, because there's a few teams that are looking looking shaky. Everton especially, obviously they got pumped by Newcastle today. They're down there. It amazes me that we're still 6 points away from safety. So we could do it, but we're not going to, because we can't win a game for shit. And we especially can't win 2 in a row. We're just not capable of it. So yeah, I mean, if we're going to go down, I want Everton to come with us. Just because they're a mess of a club, and they deserve to finally go down after so many years. And then it's between Leicester, Forest, and Leeds, I think, because West Ham look like they've done enough. They've put enough points together. Same with Bournemouth as well. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be one from that group. But I mean, yeah, we've just not had enough leaders. We've not had enough direction from any of the managers we've had. We've not had enough versatility. We've not had enough desire. So there's no like gripes from me or arguments about why we shouldn't go down or why we don't deserve to go down. We fully deserve this shit. It's yeah, it's on us.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the Everton thing, it was one thing that I kind of called, but once they got Sean Dyche, I was like, there's always a possibility that they could save it. But
yeah,
after the score today, you're like, yeah, man, it's still look like too much damage was done. The hole in the bottom of the ship is too big to bail enough water out for this thing to stay afloat. So that's Everton's problem. They, Calvin Lewin has disappeared for most of the season with injuries. I know he played the game before this. I didn't see this game to see if he played this game. So maybe if he's fully fit, maybe he can get on the end of some balls, put the ball in the back of the net, and give him some cutting edge that they definitely don't have. But that's the only, if he could come on strong and get into the season, like at this point, maybe that could save him. One question I want to ask you is like, what's the least amount of points do you think Southampton needs to get to survive?
The least amount to survive, looking at the table, I think 36.
And how much you got now?
24.
Oh, so you think you need 12 points?
Yeah.
The least? Are you looking at the 40 number?
No, I'm looking at 36. I think will be enough to stay up this season.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get that. All right, I was hoping it was a lower number.
No, we got 5 games left, and we've won 6 games all season in 33. It's we're just bad. We deserve to go down. Well, I ain't got any arguments against it, and I think we need to go down at this point. The squad's a mess. We need a real reset and a real clear out, and we need the board to come up with a strategy for the long term. The
same board that hired Nathan Jones, that board.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We spent 132 million pounds in the last 2 windows as well.
That's top club money.
And we've just spent it on shit as well. So, or players who aren't even playing. We signed the top scorer in the Belgian league and we barely play him. He's 6'7", and he wasn't even in the squad today.
Yeah.
We just keep playing the same way and not scoring goals. It's like, he's 6'7". Put him on and put some crosses in. Get Ward-Prowse to put the ball on his head. We got the best crosser in the league.
Yeah, it's time to adjust to the position in the table you're at. Adjust your style of play. Yeah, you're right. Be direct, be defensive, and just, you could have, if you had this strategy months ago, like point by point, you could have been like just closer. But yeah, it's pretty dumb. Yeah.
Or just be adaptable. Like when we play Arsenal, go press them because they're going to try and play out. But when we play a Bournemouth or someone, no, put the big man on, get the ball to Ward-Prowse, get him slinging the crosses in, put it on his head.
Right.
And then don't try and press them. Just sit off and let them have the ball and see what they can do. And then maybe try and hit them on the break or something. I don't know. It's What we've been doing ain't working though, and we're going down.
Sure, absolutely, it has not. Let me see. Liverpool won. That's like a few in a row. So
yeah, West Ham made them work for it, but they got there.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted West Ham to win because they've become my new favorite team to root for. Because the fans hate Moyes, and the more he wins, the more likely he'll stay there. So I just want them to like hate this guy that's getting them wins, and want to get rid of him, but be like, he got us another win. But Liverpool, most of the time you don't expect West Ham to beat Liverpool, and they didn't. So it wasn't even a game that you expect Moyes to win. So he still could stay there and be an enigma to the fans, which I love. I love that shit.
Yeah, I mean they're on the verge of a Europa Conference League final potentially as well. They're in the semis. One of the interesting things with West Ham as well is how well Lucas Paqueta is playing right now as well. Like he's finally showing why he's a Brazil national team starter. He's had a bit of a slow start to his West Ham career, but he's playing well now.
Yeah, I always thought he could be dangerous. So we'll see what's up. Yeah, I kind of wanted him for United. Yeah, I rate him. See what else we did. Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, Tottenham. Forest beat Brighton yesterday. That's a
big win. Yeah, big win.
Big, huge. Forest, man. Very surprising. Proud of them. Like, they're digging in. That's Brighton's a good team. Like, that's a clear 3 drop points, and to turn that into 3 picked up points by Brighton, that's pretty impressive and good for them. I mean, by Nottingham Forest, that's pretty impressive, and it's good for them to beat Brighton. And am I looking at the right thing? Or maybe I scrolled up too much. Is it? Yeah, Nottingham Forest, Brighton. And then Villa beat Fulham on Tuesday.
Yeah, Mings with a header.
Yeah, that header. Yeah, I remember now. And just the way Villa's been playing and the control to, like, even though Fulham was playing without Mitrovic and there was no Willian, that's not Villa's fault. And Villa at home, they're very good at home. And their fullback and support. I felt like Fulham, I watched this game, I was like, why is Fulham just chilling and letting Villa just pass this ball around and kill time? And it only like in the second half did Fulham try a little bit harder, but they really gave Villa that first half like for free. And yeah, it was weird. It's like maybe they were like, we don't have our best scorers. Let's sit off and let's try to catch them on the break. But even after Villa scored the first goal, it was still more of that. Like, it's time to change your plan, Fulham. And only maybe, and still, maybe that's not bad. Fulham is still in the game. If in the last 20 minutes you go for it and you get one, then you're doing better than you should have. But that was a weird game for Fulham to play like that. Like, they really let Villa get comfortable on the ball and build their confidence. And they're in such a good form right now, Villa, that a team like Fulham can't let a team like Villa like get confident with like that against them, or else you're gonna lose 1-0. Anything else you think we should discuss? Your boy Crystal Palace lost a game they should have won. So there, Patrick Vieira should have remained.
You've been waiting for this.
Because he would have won this game. Patrick Vieira would have beat Wolves at Wolves. He would have not lost 2-0. He lost to way better teams with closer scores. So you're gonna tell me he couldn't have beat a lousy Wolves team? No, you can't tell me that. So you were wrong to hire Roy Hudson again. And good luck to you.
I watched some of that game though, and Palace were a little bit unlucky because Jose Sarr in goal. Jose Sarr in goal for Wolves pulled off some world-class saves in that game.
He's a world-class keeper. What do you want him to do? Not be world-class? Oh, you're a former keeper. So what I wanted to ask you about the Arsenal game, right? So everybody's saying this cliche thing about, well, it's two things that I want to address. And so one of the things is goalkeeping. And they said, like, Man City could have been up more earlier if Ramsdale didn't make some amazing saves. Now, De Bruyne's first goal, don't you think Ramsdale should have saved that?
It's a hard one. Like he almost got to it, but I think De Bruyne almost caught him off guard with the type of shot and how early he took it. Right. I think because he didn't expect him to shoot from there at that point, and those ones can kind of catch you off guard as a keeper. And yeah, he almost got down to it. So yeah, you maybe could say that, but I don't. I think Haaland's one he should have stopped. But yeah, and the saves he made, they were good, but they weren't like they weren't mind-blowing saves. They were sort of saves I'd expect him to make. Like the one when Haaland didn't even hit the ball properly, and he got across and made the save. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a save. But yeah, they weren't like amazing. Whereas like I said, going back to the Wolves Palace game, a couple of those Jose Sarr ones, he had no right to save them. Like they were truly. Oh, they were truly class. But yeah, I mean the Ramsdale ones, I think, yeah, I think the Haaland goal he definitely should have saved. And yeah, some of the saves he did make, they were good saves, but they weren't like ones where I was like, oh my god, how did he get there?
Right. Yeah, they were really bigging him up, and I'm like, and I'm a Ramsdale fan. Like I think he should be England's #1. You know what I mean? Like I think he's better than the Everton guy, and I always like have noticed how good he's been all season. So, and he's pulled off some Gordon Banks like saves, but none in this game. The way they're talking, and like you said, like we both think he should have saved at least one of those goals, but they're different goals that we think he should save. So, yeah, it's just one. Once people start talking about something, everybody just repeats it. So here's another thing. Like there's a Friday football show that comes on to preview the upcoming games this week. And it's always and mostly Ian Wright, this woman, I forgot her name, and then they have this black journalist most of the time, sometimes Tim Sherwood. I forgot I see the YouTube of it. It comes on, they put the clips on YouTube. So they're always saying Haaland's pretty good, but he has no touch. And I've always disagreed with that. It's like, how could you score that many goals and have no touch? It's impossible. Lukaku has no touch. And he couldn't score as many goals as Haaland. So like there's an actual like fact post person you could point to that's tangible that you listen, if you ain't got no touch, you ain't scoring as many goals as Haaland. You're gonna be Lukaku. You're gonna put Lukaku numbers out. So and then in this game versus Arsenal, he showed his touch so many times. And you think Pep is gonna have like Pep is about buying technical players.
Yeah.
He's not gonna buy a non-technical player. So everybody who was saying that on that show for more than one episode, you were fucking dead wrong. And I couldn't disagree with you to a clip through TV, but I'm like, how are y'all saying this with such conviction? Have you ever heard that from anybody out there?
No, and you're spot on. Like if you haven't got a first touch, Pep ain't signing you.
Yeah.
Like it's like the fundamentals there. And it, you know, and I've seen how Pep trains his team. Like every day at training is rondos, which is like the piggy in the middle game. And they do them at 100 miles an hour. And you ain't hanging with the players they've got in those rondos every day, day in, day out, if you haven't got a touch. So yeah, it's nonsense. That's just, I mean, there's a reason why Tim Sherwood's sitting in a studio and not managing anymore.
He is so wrong a lot.
Yeah. He's an idiot.
Why does he keep getting hired?
I don't know. Half the time, I don't know if he's just, maybe he's not an idiot. Maybe he's really smart and that he just says stupid shit for clickbait and to start debates. And then he gets, because if he gets engagement, he keeps getting hired for these roles. But if he means what he's saying, he's a moron.
I think he's just lazy. I think it's like, let me go there, pick up this check. Let me go there, pick up this check. Let me go there, pick up this check. I think he's just lazy.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Oh, whoa, what's coming up this? So we got more Prem this weekend.
Yeah, there's midweek games as well. We got everything. Obviously, United Villa is probably the game that jumps out to me of the ones this weekend. That's on Sunday. Liverpool Tottenham. We're going to go up to Newcastle and get our asses handed to us up there. We're going up against maybe one of the best players in the league outside of any Man City player right now, Joe Linton. That guy is a monster right now. He's in form. And it's such a luxury Newcastle have, where at the moment they just keep changing between Wilson and Isak up front. Like Isak starts one game and he scores, and then Wilson comes off the bench and does something. And then today Wilson starts and scores 2, and then Isak comes off the bench and, like you said earlier, just runs through like 4 people to set up a goal. So yeah,
turns into set maximum.
Yeah. Turns into some maximum, and some of the other players they got right now, like Murphy is stepping up, and Willock.
Yeah.
Willock is looking like he's going to be pushing for the England squad next time that comes around. He's doing crazy things on the pitch right now. So yeah, I mean, I've got zero confidence we'll get anything up there at St James's Park.
No, they're going to press. They're going to press. They're going to press, and they're going to try to play the ball out the back. It's perfect for you. You this will be closer than you think. They're going to play into your hands. Yeah. What about this? Go ahead.
As I say, Arsenal Chelsea on Tuesday.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Yeah. Even though we should save that for when we do the pod on Sunday.
Yeah.
To talk about that, I guess. Yeah. So I'm really worried about this Villa game because I don't want to talk to Lloyd after they win, because he's gonna call. He's gonna call.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be like, "Stand." You know what he does now? So I see you won the game. Yeah, it's standard when you're a big team. It's just standard, and it's like, So yeah, right now he's in a fight in a bar with Liverpool fans as always, because now they're above Liverpool in the table. So. That's the best thing for him. But I don't want to draw with them. I don't want them to win. This has to be a clear Man United. Our fans, I'm gonna need y'all to show up and get this team revved up for me. Like we got a good replacement back for. I think Varane was on the bench today, but he didn't play. So I think he might be back. So yeah, let's get this popping.
You're gonna need a full strength defense against Ollie Watkins right now.
Yeah, he's a handful, right?
He's a problem. Even the Fulham game, I know he didn't score, but he was terrorizing them. He was still getting the ball and just running at people and just scaring people. Defenders look worried when he's coming at them right now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Rashford will accept this as a challenge, because it's like this guy. I think he's mostly coming off the left too, or is he playing down the middle? But
he can do it all. He's a centre forward, but he likes to run both channels. But he does like that outside left sort of position to come inside on his right foot.
Right. So I hope Rashford accepts this as a challenge to his England spot, and and they're on par for most goals scored by, I guess, English people in the Premier League since the World Cup. So yeah, Rashford should take this personal. I want him to. And be like, no, Ollie Watkins, you know me. Yeah, so. And West Ham, I want you to beat Crystal Palace because this is a game that Vieira would have definitely won. And since he's not there, you need to show Crystal Palace that they made a mistake by firing Vieira and hiring Roy Hudson. And not only that, this is a twofer because if West Ham wins, David Moyes wins. And guess who is annoyed when David Moyes wins or loses? West Ham fans. So it'll be fun to see the West Ham fans wallow in misery with 3 points. That'll be fucking great. Yeah, those are the big ones per se. And Sunday is Liverpool, Tottenham. Liverpool finish off Tottenham so we don't have to worry about them in the top 4. Like, are you really back Liverpool? Are you just like, are you is this it? Like, how many they won in a row? I'd have to check. Let me see. What's your, because they're not in any other competition, so it's all leagues. Like, let's see.
A few, because they trashed Leeds, didn't they?
Yeah. And then they beat somebody else, and then they beat somebody else. So I think it's 3. Make it 4. You fucking Liverpool. So they beat Forest.
Yeah, they drew. They've won 3 on the bounce. They drew with Arsenal and Chelsea the 2 games before that.
So come on, man. Come on, Liverpool. Finish off these Spurs. And, finish off these Spurs. I'm not going to give Spurs any credit. They did their thing in the second half. And they actually could have won this game. But thank God they didn't, or else we're going to destroy Ian. Anything else you want to pop in, say?
No, good. Just I just hope the beating from Newcastle isn't too bad. But I just want to say I've fully accepted Championship football next year. I'm plotting what stadiums I'm going to visit. I'm preparing for the 46 game season next year rather than the 38 game season. So, I get more value. I get more games. And who knows, we might even win some in that league. So, I'm going through all the different stages of grief, and I've arrived at acceptance now.
All right. So just make sure you write a good eulogy Premier League speech for like the day you're mathematically disqualified from participating any longer in the Prem this season. We'll be at the funeral. We're gonna have a funeral that day. The funeral episode is probably coming soon for Southampton. So
it's in the next week or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a funeral for all the teams that get relegated. We'll talk about the good times, the bad times, what they did wrong, and we'll dedicate an episode to the relegation teams. And Arsenal, you blew it. You fucking blew it. Like, even it's so fun to watch Arsenal fan TV or Joe Bayer. Like, he was carrying around a trophy on Vibe 5 and saying, I'm going to have this all year and I'm going to show this. And then the last episode, he was, I'm selling the trophy because it doesn't, even though they're 2 points ahead, they're like, it's over. And that's the power of Man City. And that's crazy to have a 2-point lead over a team. And if the fans feel that way, I wonder if the players feel that way. Because if the players feel that way, it's really over. And a miracle could happen if the players don't feel that way and they try to win out all their last. But Man City is that good that they're trailing by 2 points. Yeah, they got some games in hand, but the whole Arsenal fan base has said it's over. And that's fucking crazy. Respect, Man City. So with that, thank you all for watching and listening. Thanks for joining again, Lee. Sorry, man. It's,
It's football.
Yeah, that's football, man. That's rough though. That's goddamn. Yeah. But oh, can I say one thing? So when I was at the wedding in Costa Rica, I know the bride, like she works in comedy space. So then there was a lot of comics there. But then her husband works in a tech space. And so his son had on a soccer jersey. I was wearing soccer jerseys like a lot of the trip because it's just easy summer wear. And he was asking me what my team was, and I had on a Real Madrid jersey one day. And he said, so he designs drones, and drones have cameras. And so his company's actually doing something for the renovation of the Real Madrid. So he was like telling me what's actually going on. So the reason why the construction is taking so long, because underground, there's going to be 3 or 4 levels of fields. So you knew this?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, they
right?
got all the sliding like things so they can do like concerts there and all sorts of different things.
Right. But they also have different football pitches under there. So you play on one, like on Sunday, you can bring up another one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Midweek. And then, so then they have to keep, and they're doing it like weed house style. So you have to keep the grass growing while it's underground. And his place is selling them the cameras to monitor the growth of the grass while the pitches are underground.
Yeah, because they've got like, they have the lamps on them.
Yeah,
they
have the
on the
lamps
grass.
on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said normally it would take a soil sample to say what the soil needs, but with the cameras, you can calculate easier what the soil needs, so you can give it to it before it even happens, instead of having it being like man decided. Like the data from the cameras, which they're selling them, is like going to help them keep these pitches like in top shape. So it was just crazy. I actually forgot that. I was like, how did I forget that? Having a discussion with this dude, about
That's
that.
nuts. Like, I've never looked at the pitch at the Bernabeu and gone, that pitch is looking shabby. They should get a second one to to switch in and out.
Right.
I guess it's almost like a flex, though, isn't it? To go like, oh, we're the first ones with this technology. Because Tottenham have got a sliding pitch, and that's so they can like slide it out and they can bring an artificial turf on for the NFL games, I think, or they can put like a hard surface in for the for concerts and boxing matches and things. Because like I went to watch boxing at the stadium. But Real Madrid, that's got to be the first one where they put like multiple grass pitches in.
Yeah,
that's just crazy. A flex.
Yeah, it's a flex. It's definitely a flex.
But Barca have announced the renovation plans for the Camp Nou as well, so they're probably going to do something crazy as well.
They can't afford it.
Oh, they'll do something. They'll remortgage or some shit.
What a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, they'll find it some way.
As illegally as they always do. All right. Fine. Well, thanks for joining. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, sending you all mad love. Be good out there and enjoy the games this weekend. And we'll catch up on the weekend. All right? 1. Stop the cam. Boom.